So yesterday my film camera got stolen, and if this video gets up on YouTube, that means the insurance and everything has been handled and it's gone good. And I just thought that I'd like to press record and talk through thoughts and feelings about this, because these things could happen. How do you deal with these kinds of situations? Backstory first. So I rent out my camera equipment on a platform called Hygglo. People can rent all kinds of stuff on that platform, and they get verified through something that we in Sweden call BankID. Verifications that's leading up to you can actually trust the people that rent your stuff. And to this day, I've rented out over 150 times through the platform in 3 or 4 years in total. I wrote a LinkedIn post about it as well, a couple of weeks ago. You've met a lot of people and creatives, and it has been a really, really nice experience. But then, so yesterday, it wasn't that good of an experience. And I always had it in my back of my mind, what's going to happen if these kinds of things happen. And I read on the insurance policies and stuff, and it has sound pretty good. So it's been a really nice couple of years on Hygglo, but now is really the time that the platform proves itself, that it's reliable for someone like me renting out my equipment on there. Because if this insurance thing doesn't handle well, I'm probably not gonna rent out my stuff there anymore. That's what's going through my mind right now. But at the same time, I've always felt like it's a nice way to, instead of having your camera on the shelf when you're not on production, I've always felt like it's a nice thing to hand it out to people so they can go out and shoot, or just lending it to your friend. It's nice to see that the equipment is used as much as possible, because that's what it's about. It's a tool. It was a person that has to rent it, and he seemed pretty nice. I got his phone number and he answered, and everything was fine there, and we met up outside of his office. And so he was supposed to be returning it in the evening, the same day. 2 hours later, after the time that we had discussed that he would return the equipment, I was calling, and it just switched off. It didn't get through anything at all. So during that evening or night as well, I called 10 more times, and what is this? And of course he wouldn't answer in the chat as well. And so oh shit, I need to let Hygglo know this and start this claim that my stuff has been stolen. And at that time it was in the middle of the night. At the same time, in this situation, I'm so happy that we actually have a backup camera here at the office. But yeah, so after that camera got stolen, next up was a wedding gig filming, and also filming for a documentary at the Pride Festival, days after the theft. It was actually kind of nice heading out to those 2 shoots and just forgetting about all that has happened and just focusing on filming good stuff again, instead of sitting at home and just So backup camera is good, and I'm actually very relieved that even though that crazy situation just happened, I could switch mentality. And I mentioned it to Alba, that was the photographer for the wedding, yeah, my fake camera got stolen right just now, so I'm doing with this one instead. And we should probably not talk about it for the day, but just so you know the situation that I'm in. But I actually managed to focus on the right things there on the spot. That's probably what I'm most proud of, because when you're out filming, all kinds of stuff can happen, in Uganda or up in Kebnekaise, especially when you're holding a camera. It's just nice to know that I can, or at least temporarily, flip the switch of those emotions, just turn those off and focus on what's in front of me right there in the moment. And then when I get home, like switch it back on and like, ah. So yeah, I really hope actually that it's gonna turn out well, because I really love the platform and the concept of like sharing economy. But it's a crossroads in my mind right now. And up next, this week, I'm heading down to Kalmar to shoot for the documentary that I'm doing a behind the scenes series on this channel. And luckily, I've managed to get my hands on an FX3 by my colleague Sam that I helped film for Pride. So he was like, if there's anything like in return I could do, I was like, yeah, there actually is. Those scenes that we're gonna film down there in Kalmar will be pretty impactful for that documentary. I don't think I'm gonna go into the details of all the insurance policies and like our conversations with Igloo and stuff like that, but just it's the first time that I'm dealing with this kind of situation. So I guess it's a learning thing as well. Like now I've experienced this, and how can I grow from that problem and develop things in a way that those things won't happen again. Yeah, it's money. Of course it is. I put some serious money into that kit, but at the same time it's just stuff. My relations with my clients and stuff is not gonna be affected by this. Those are the actual value. The camera is just a tool to get it done. So I could buy the exact same thing and get the exact same results. Kind of what I'm thinking about in the moment, and it feels actually good to talk to the camera and actually putting words to the thoughts about this. Yeah, I'm not gonna stop filming stuff. It's just that my primary tool is not here anymore. I need to fix that, but